Today's video has been brought to you by the fine people at Tycon, producers of awesome niche electronics that better our industry. Hey Tycon, make a wisp switch. Or don't, I don't know. It's just you're awesome. I think you're capable of making a dual voltage PoE switch with all the functionality we need. Toodles everybody, and enjoy the video.
Hey guys, got some cool new shit to show ya. And now it seems that the channel's getting a little bit more in-depth because we've got some videos on product reviews now, and product reviews are starting to come in, which are really, really handy. It's all sorts of cool shit that helps us as small operators within the industry to deliver, you know, awesome, reliable service to our client base while at the same time saving some money so we can actually afford to do so. And some tutorial videos, as you know, to show you guys how to do things. Yay! We're getting somewhere. Alright, by the way, as you know, it's fall. And that means that it's time for Halloween and pretty colors and autumn stuff at this part of the world, you know, up here in Kazakhstan and at the upper portion of North America. But let's get down to the business. Alright, so first of all, this is the new product review sword. Machete. Let's open this guy up. You shall not taste the blood of lamb today. Here. Alright. I shall resheath this beautiful machete. I believe this is Peruvian. It has tasted much blood. Here we go. Let's open this guy up. So, we got some packing materials and stuff. Oh, look, it's a switch. Oh, no. What comes in the box? So we've got this awesome little switch from Tycon. And we've got, look at that. How many people are that decent that they would send you a CLI cable, a serial cable? You got your DB9 on one side and your RJ45 on the other side. What's this? This is cool. What's this little guy do? What's that for? It goes somewhere. I don't know where it goes. Ooh, I see what this is. This is a bracket so that you can... Oh, that's really cool. Okay, let's get rid of the box. Screw the box. And by the way, that looks like an instruction manual, which, why do you need that when you can go online and get it off a website, but whatever. Let's carefully put this aside. Okay, so let's look at this first. We'll look at the hardware that came with this. We all know what a serial cable is, right? I mean, this is so that you can, no matter what condition this thing's in, you can plug into the side of this, not with an Ethernet cable, but with your laptop, and you can use PuTTY or Telnet to get into this, so that you can manually administrate it. And look, the settings are right there on it for your serial interface. Okay, cool. So we don't need that either. Alright, so, let's see here. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? Alright, cool. So let's look at this. It looks like this mounts a few ways. So we've got these nice beveled screw holes, and we've got a couple of little wall mounting brackets. Isn't that cool? So I wonder if... Nah. Okay, so you gotta take out these screws and stick that in place, and then you can actually, like, shelf mount that, or, like, backboard it, which is kind of cool. Alright, cool. I'll just put this back in the bag. Alright. So, we don't need that at the moment either. Okay. Now, look at this little guy. So this is a DIN rail mount switch. It is single voltage. It is designed to operate on... Where did my DIN rail go? I got a piece of DIN rail here that I was going to use for demoing. Where did I put my DIN rail? Nope, that's not it. Whatever. I've got a dirty piece of DIN rail here underneath. I washed the other one. I made it look all nice because I grabbed this out of my truck. But whatever, I can't find the other one right now. We'll just use this one. Okay, so, look at that. DIN rail mountable. Okay, so let's see here. So we would stick that in like so. And then... That's pretty solid, actually. That's a nice, sturdy mount, while at the same time, yeah, that's beautiful. And at the same time, it's really easy to release it because of the little spring clips that they've developed for this. Pretty neat, eh? Okay, let's take it apart. Yay, because that's what everybody wants. No, I'm just kidding. That's a tease. We're not quite there yet. So what do we got here? So we've got this beautiful 4-point Phoenix connector here, which has dual voltage inputs. I'm assuming that there's isolation diodes inside, so you can run dual power supplies for redundancy. This one's set up for 48 to 55 volts PoE. It says that there's actually a 12 volt to 55 volt model. I'll have to check that out. We've got a reset button here, our ground here, because grounding is so critical to do. You need to ground the shit out of everything. Remember that. Alright, so that being said, let's see what else we got on this little guy. We've got 4 PoE ports here. These are all, I believe that they're 802.3 AF. AT, and BT. Oh, so these guys will do up to 90 watts per port. How cool is that? Plus, okay, it's got two 2.5 gig SFP ports on it. So this is actually a pretty robust little switch. Now, if you're wondering, oh, well, I can't really use this with my Wisp because my equipment isn't designed for standard PoE stuff. Well, they've got you sorted on that. This cool little thing right here is, by the way, this is an output. So if you've got a larger piece of equipment, you can actually plug in here and power the equipment through the DC off of this as well. So this guy here actually takes BT in. So this will actually take 30 watts in and it'll spit 20 watts out. So it's not quite 100 watts there, but whatever. If you've got a radio that draws 100 watts, you should probably run a DC line to it. Just saying, okay? So this will take 40 to 60 volts in. So that's full swing 48 volt plant. Pin is Alt A plus B, so 802.3 AT. Let's see here, the 4 pair power is 24 volts DC, 0.84 amps, which works out to 20 watts. I wrote it on there because I'm cheating. And let's see here. Yeah, the input, of course, is 40 to 60. So what this is actually for is for your Ubiquiti devices or Mimosa or Cambium devices that can't negotiate proper PoE with this, which actually most Cambium and Mimosa devices will take full advantage of this switch with no problems at all because they're PoE+. Some of the higher-end Ubiquiti products will as well, like the LTU rockets. Sorry, the Airfiber 5X HD LTU will properly utilize this. It'll activate this, but the Rocket LTU won't. I don't know why. That's kind of stupid. They're the same product line, essentially. So what you would do is with something like this, or something like this, which is the Ubiquiti Instant 802.3 AF adapter, it's gigabit. You can use something like this to power your equipment as well. So what you would do actually is you would plug this end into the switch, and then this end here would go into the radio. And this guy is also only good for about roughly 12 watts, right? So this is designed for like a AP or a small point-to-point link. So either one of these guys here will allow you to use passive PoE devices on this proper 802.3 BT switch. So this may be a proper 48 volt switch, but you can still run passive equipment on it using adapters like this and like this. All right, so let's do a quick teardown on this, and I'll do the PoE demonstration on this thing last because I do need to play with some settings on it, and I'll do that on my computer to verify everything's good. So let's take a look at this robust little thing. This is like, it's hard. Like, this is really built well, and as you can see, it's a fanless type design. There's not a lot of ingress here for dust and garbage and bugs and stuff like that. Like, this really feels substantial. This is a nice little product. So let's take it apart. All right, this is my favorite part of the video. This one won't work. This won't work either. Here we go. I think we need this one. Let's try this. I just put my hat on backwards like one of those hippity hopsters from back in the 1990s. There. Ooh, look at that. I'm voiding the warranty. I'm a bad girl. Oh no, I can't actually get the screw out. Let's see what's going on here. What is going on here? That's not good. Hold on. Wow, they really don't want that screw coming out. I don't know why that one screw is so buggered because the other one seemed to come out really easily. But don't worry, we'll get it out. Take a look at it. I'll show you guys how to get it out. Okay, I think that's all the screws. Just for good measure, I'm going to take off the bracket too. The bracket probably does not need to come off, by the way. I'm just taking it off for good measure, okay? Because I've never been into one of these guys before, and I want to make sure that I get an... Oh, look at that. You can change the orientation on it. Oh, that's a cool surprise. So it can go like that or like that. Oh, you know what? That's really pretty cool. All right, so now what are we going to do about this stupid thing? Let's see. I'm going to grab some isopropyl alcohol and try to get that label off so we can actually see what we're dealing with here. Maybe it might be a hex or something like that. Nope, it is most definitely a slot. Let's see if I can get, or Phillips. Let's see if I can get it out like this. Oh my god. They must have used like crazy glue or something in there. Oh, it's an extra long screw, but that's going in the garbage now, so there. Let's just put this stuff off to the side here. Now we can get into it. How does it open? I see a seam here. Does it slide apart sideways? Side to side? How does it open? Is there another screw somewhere? Ooh, that's loose. There we go. Ah, I see. Zarby magic. And are there any screws in the front? Doesn't look like it. Let's see here. Although, yes, it looks like there's screws in the front here. So let's get this label off. This thing is very well assembled. I'm just going to turn my temperature down here because I don't want to like melt the labels. So I'm going to take this to about 160-ish. Should be enough to get that label off without damaging it. Hey Tycon, you guys should have warned me that this thing was so well built. This makes it a real pain in the arse to get the thing off. Hehehe. No worries. They do not intend for these things to come apart. This is specifically something for me to demo for you guys so you guys can check it out. So here we go. Cool. It might actually be a little bit of a nightmare getting that label back on, folks. But whatever. We will do it. This is an important part of the process. Alright. So yeah, we left the sticker behind. Good work, stupid. Okay, let's get these screws out. Teardowns are the coolest part, right? Because you guys get to see inside of all this cool shit and see how it ticks. It's neat. It's neato, nifty-roo. There we go. Ooh, okay. What do we got here? That looks like a power board. So do I need to take this thing completely out? It is kind of double-sided, so it wouldn't be such a terrible thing to do, really. I mean, I am one for being very thorough. You know I'm going to end up gluing this cover back on, right? There we go. One, and now for the last one. You know, as a little kid, I was always one for taking things apart, and it made people insane. There we go. Okay, so we got that, and let's get the board out now. Why not, right? There we go. I like this design so far, by the way. It feels like there's another screw in. Oh, no, it's the heatsink. Thermal transfer. See, look, there is a gelatinous thing. Thermal transfer board there. Okay, so let's get this put aside now. Ooh, look at that. It looks almost like a VIA, but it's not. It's Vitesse. Look at all the diode protection in here. That's cool. And then we've got, this is, like I said earlier, there's your diodes for separation of the inputs here. So you've got separate inputs feeding in right there. It looks like there's a spot that they could put a barrel connector for 52 volts, which of course would be 48 swing, which is up to 54.4. A little bit of pink plastic bubble wrap stuck on here, which was clearly protective. When they were assembling the boards, they take the boards out of like a package and then they put them into the housings, right? So look at all those protection diodes along here. That's pretty cool. And it looks like, oh, actually that would probably be a choke. And there's our little, is that RAM or a hard drive? It's hard to say. Anyway, let's flip her over. So this looks like the actual PoE power board right here to me. And that would be the controller chip for the PoE right there. And again, protection diodes here. There's really not much to these things, and because they're so simple, it's harder to kill them. A lot of people don't realize that. Keep it simple, stupid. If you overcomplicate shit, it's easier to break. We've got a bunch of MOVs in here. These things are awesome. These are surge suppressors, basically. They will dead short to ground if there is a fault. So if you overvoltage these and trip them, they will just blow apart, or they will cook and, you know, fall apart. Usually I recommend putting heat shrink over top of these things when you're assembling them, or when you're putting them in place, because that will help you to prevent them from expanding and exploding everywhere, right? Because they will explode typically. Alright, now let's check out this cool little chip. So I'm going to reach over here and grab my cell phone. Let's look up the Vitesse. Let's see here. Vitesse, let's see here. VSC 7424X JG dash, oops, 02. Oh shoot, I got flight mode turned on this stupid thing. That's gonna ding 1,000 times. 10-port L2 gigabit Ethernet switch with CU physicals, so copper physical. Let's see what we got here. Vertical.com. Let's go to the datasheet. Now, I would do a screenshot of this thing and send it to you, but there's no point because you guys can look this up for yourselves. So I'm just going to read it off in summary anyway. Let's see here. 6813. No, actually, I'm just going to go directly to, I think that I found the actual datasheet right here. Here we go. Let's go to the specific datasheet. I don't want to dig through a billion of them. Wow. The chip's worth $40,000. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Datasheet. Let's take a look at the datasheet. Okay, there's the datasheet. Thank you. Alright, let's see what this cool little thing can do. I have a feeling this is more than a 4-port, but let's check it out. Alright, so this is the family of managed gigabit Ethernet switches. So, of course, these guys had to do their own software and stuff on it. So let's see what the overview says after I get through all these millions of... There's like 400 fucking pages on this datasheet. Are you kidding me? This is a true manual for this. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it does most of the other 2.3s. Yeah, it's a cool little product. Here we go. Here's the physical stuff. This is the 24X, 24JG-02. It supports up to 10 1 gig with 8 1 gig copper physical plus 2x 1 gig SGM M2s. Yeah. So it's just as I thought. That's a pretty decent little switch chip. So this guy here, running in a smaller version, like this little 4-port here, you're never going to really rock this thing too hard. You're never going to really push this unit. So I mean, like, this thing's going to be something you're going to install, and it's going to last until God kills it. And when I say God kills it, I mean like lightning or explosion or, you know, somebody running into the facility. And I'm going to stop before I get demonetized. Not that I'm monetized now, but well, yeah, let's put this thing back together before I say something completely idiotic. Alright, so this is the part where I put it back together, and then we're going to jump into the software. We'll do a jump cut into the looking at the software, and hopefully while we're fiddling about in the software, I can try to get the PoE to activate and turn on those ports, and then I can show you guys afterwards the ports powering these nifty little 802.3 adapters. I think that would be a very good thing. And just to show you quickly what I'm talking about, here's our handy dandy little shitty 100 meg PoE switch. Let's power this guy up quickly and I'll show you what I mean. Actually, you know what? I'll just toss that back there. Where's my, I got some jumpies here. No, wrong. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to use them anyway. There we go. We'll go, I feel like yellow and green, yellow and blue. Yeah, I'll just go like this. That'll probably work. Yeah. Will this work? Nope. Whatever. Get on there. Yeah, you know what? This is being a pain in the arse. I am so sorry, folks. Here I am, just trying to make shit work for you. There. That should do that. Let's do this guy up now. Ha! I win. Turn it on. Okay, so here we go. This is what we should be seeing out of this guy once we get the PoE port sorted out. So we'll take this adapter here, right? And if I plug this into here like so, it will power on. And then I can use this to power something like, say, this guy here, this PoE switch, this passive PoE switch. So let's turn this on here. I feel like this is just not my lucky day. We're gonna, we'll go into it after anyway. I'm not too sure why things are not working the way that I'm expecting them to, so we'll deal with it after. I'm gonna demonstrate this. So this is the little adapter that Tycon sent me. It's supposed to be 48 volts BT in to passive 24 volt out. Now I did test it, but this does not seem to just out of the box turn on any devices that I plug into it. I'll show you what I mean. We'll take this here. Where's a jumper? Let me grab one more jumper. I think I've got one. I'll just steal this one for a sec. This one doesn't really matter. Yeah, how'd you get? Okay, so let's take this guy here. And this should turn green when a device activates. So we're going to take the nano switch, which is running off the 802.3 AAT adapter. And we're going to plug this in here. And it doesn't seem to work. This might actually be the wrong adapter that they sent me, or maybe Tycon can clarify in the comments and say, what's up with this. I probably didn't configure it properly, which I could do in a whole video on this thing. It might be cool. But I do know that there's 24 volts coming off these terminals here, but look, it's not turning this on. But what I found, though, is that if I plug in a proper active PoE device, it will negotiate, this will turn on, and it'll power the device up. So it looks like this is not a passive PoE adapter like I was originally told, which it's easy to get these things mixed up when they all look very similar. I mean, like, here's a PoE injector from like 10 years ago. Actually, I think 12 years ago that I actually bought this thing. And look, this is one that was recently made, like in the last, I would assume last year. I mean, is there a date code on it? Yeah, that was actually this year. It looks like this was made in April. So, look at that. Like, these are two products from like over a decade apart and they're nearly identical. It's easy to mess them up. But anyway, so as you can see, there we go. This little switch is actually pretty good for powering all this stuff, up to 90 watts per port. And with this MikroTik device here, which, you know, these ones that say 10 to 57 volts, I can plug this guy straight in and power it. Because this guy actually has the ability to negotiate 802.3 without any problems. So these guys here are basically what you want to use if you've got a small Ubiquiti Pop and you've got, like, say, 4 light AP GPSs and a backhaul. You would basically just use one of these on each one of the light AP GPSs, and or you could even go with this is only a 4 port, so you'd be kind of borked there. You could add something like this as well to be both your router and then power one of your backhaul radios off of it or whatever. But as you can see, we're properly using a proper PoE switch here to power these devices without any problems. So this is pretty cool. Tycon's done a great job on this guy. It's like built like a friggin' tank. She's a brick house. A brick house? That's a song, right? I'm trying to be silly to make up a funny little comment here, but I mean, yeah, this is like all passive. The entire bottom is a heat sink, and of course, once you bolt this thing together, it becomes like one monster heat sink. yeah, you know what? I'd say that this one is an absolute win. I'm loving it. And I would love to thank Tycon today for sponsoring this video and sending me this really cool Switch to break down and go over. It's I'm sure there'll be lots more Tycon stuff to show you guys because they've got some really cool stuff for the Wisp market. If you haven't already seen what they have to offer, Tycon have stuff like enclosures, off-grid equipment. I think they also sell batteries. All sorts of cool PoE stuff, like for our switch enclosures, power management, all that neat stuff. And I will actually, in the link below, you know, in the comments section, or not the comments, the description for the video, I shall put a link to the Tycon video. So, inane babbling. There we go. This thing's back together and functional. Remember, this guy really wants 48 volts. So, yeah, that's all there is to it. I mean, like, this is a great little unit. Power system's good. It's rock solid. I mean, I'm almost tempted. I really want to do a drop test. I wonder how many newtons this guy can handle. That'd be a really cool test, honestly. But I don't want to wreck this switch because this is a nice little switch, and I might actually test it in production. I want to see what this thing can do. And I think I've got a really shitty, harsh environment that I can put this thing in to test it in. And that would be at my friend's car wash, which has a lot of caustic chemicals and stuff like that. So, there we go. There is a cool Wisp switch for you guys that are struggling trying to find a reliable, well-built switch to run at your sites. And by the way, I believe that Tycon's actually working on a Wisp switch that is dual voltage, 24 volts and 48 volts. So, keep your eye out for that, because if these guys make switches as good as they do right now, bringing something like that to the market is going to be a total winner, and I can see that blowing up for those guys. I'm really excited to see something like that, especially if they can do the, you know, something like this, which has a 6-port, an 8-port, a 12-port, and a 24-port dual voltage PoE switch, maybe with 10 gig ports in it. That'd be amazing. So, yeah, there's the switches there, and they actually sent me 2, by the way. This was the first one that they sent me, which is a previous version. And this one here only has 1 gig SFPs. This one has the 2.5 gig SFPs. But almost the same thing. This one's actually a little bit, yeah, this one looks a little bit more rugged. I think this is actually, yeah, this one's 48 volt. I think it's just an older version. This one's smaller, nicer, as you can see. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope this enlightens you. Remember, if you're looking for switches, check this out. This little Tycon switch, and the model number, by the way, is TP SW4GBT-2SFP. And it's 4 gigabit Ethernet ports and 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports, console, web GUI, just loaded with switch functionality, which is, you know, what you would expect out of a switch like this. I mean, like, the GUI isn't as easy to use as, say, an Atonix or a Ubiquiti, but I wouldn't complain because everything's there. All the functionality's built into it. You better just learn how to use a switch. And this guy looks like the winner. And remember, for light load devices that are around 12-15 watts, these adapters here will do. And Tycon also make a active to passive PoE splitter that you can get to go with these guys. This is not the splitter module, but I'm using it as a stand-in for now. I'm going to jump to the computer now. Alright, so let's log into this thing now and see what it's capable of doing, because we all want to see that. So let me log into it. So its default access IP is 2.1, and the username and password that it says in the manual are admin. Let's log in and see what this little guy's got for features. Yeah, so it's a pretty clean interface on it. Tycon, cool. Alright, so what we got for information. Alright, model number. Yeah, so basic stuff in here. It says lots of shit in it. This is handy. Look at that. Let's see here. Yeah, there is a lot of really handy information in this. Yes, okay, here's our VLANs. The back table's handy, by the way. VLANs, we got our VLANs, okay, membership and ports. Cool. Let's see what we got for port stuff. See, we're still in information right now, by the way. Just remember that, okay? Now, let's see here. Detail stats. This LACP, handy. System status, cool. No LACP configured. Green Ethernet, ugh. PoE status. PoE not available. No chips found. Ah, I think that's when I unplugged this thing. I might have jostled the board loose. That might not be good. We'll deal with that in a minute. Okay. So we've got all sorts of cool stuff in here. Network admin, we got our IP config, IP status, NTP, timestamp, SNMP, blah blah blah. Actually, this is great that it actually supports SNMP. It's kind of a must. Trap version 3 supports everything. Great. Ports. I explained why the PoE didn't work. I'll get into how to configure this in a different video. So I don't want to like go through everything. So let's see what we've got for PoE settings. Yeah, so PoE is not going to work because that's daughter board that's in there is not connected for some reason. So we'll check that in a minute. But yeah, as you can see, got all sorts of cool shit in here. Advanced configure, got MAC tables, our VLANs are right here. This is actually pretty handy. So let's say I want to make the SFP port that I'm using the trunk, and then I can call this one port 101. Yeah, I have a feeling VLANs are going to be very easy to configure on here. Loop protection, port isolation. Oh, God, this is gorgeous. Look at all the cool settings we have in this bad boy. Yeah. Security. Let's see what we have under security here. Oh, so you can actually do multiple user levels. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's really handy. You don't find that in a lot of switches unless they're like enterprise class or like true carrier. Like the WISP switches typically don't have that stuff because they try to simplify them, right? Diagnostics. Ooh, ping, cable. Oh, it's got cable diagnostics. That's kind of handy. CPU load. Wow, that's handy too. And let's see what we got for maintenance. Your standard stuff. Restart, factory defaults, firmware upgrade, firmware select, and yeah, we can download the configurations and stuff. What if this thing supports SSH? Well, I'm just gonna, for shits and giggles here, let's see what we got. Let's see what we get here. I'm just curious. Does it have SSH? Yes, it has SSH! No way. Cool. So let's see here. Show run. Ha! Cool. So this is actually set up like a standard iOS switch. That's cool. So then I can type enable to elevate and then config. Configure T? Is it T? Nope. Oh, it doesn't have that feature. Config. Cool. Alright, exit. So this thing programs, it sets up the way that most switches do through SSH. So that's really cool. So this thing has a lot of wicked functionality in the interface, which again, I'll make another video discussing how to set this thing up. I think I'll do that another day. But let's go back and figure out why that PoE board isn't working now. Because all I did was dismantle the thing and then put it back together. I shouldn't have taken the board out, but I did take the unit apart. So let's double check that, and because I want to demo the PoE for you guys, okay? So I'm just going to stop the video for a moment, and I'm going to go back and just troubleshoot the PPPoE board, or sorry, the PoE board. Blah, getting them mixed up. PoE. I'm going to just troubleshoot the PoE board, get this thing up and running, and show you guys the PoE demo, okay? Here we go. Pausing the video. Jump cut.
Alright, so after a little bit of diagnosis, I realized what my fault was. It was pretty simple. The power supply that I'm using is kind of a little janky, right? So usually I check it with my voltmeter when I set the voltage on it. I actually only had it at 15 volts. So once I dialed it up to 49 volts, all the PoE started to work on it. Who would have known? So no, I didn't screw anything up, thank God. Alright, so like this is cool because this will actually show you like what's going on with the ports, right? Alright, there's my SFP, which I'm using for administration. And let's go to PoE status. What do we got here? Ooh, 30 watts, 30 watts, 30 watts. Okay. Yeah, this is cool because you can actually see the power consumption. So port 2 is drawing the most, and port 2 would probably be the micro tick. And what's port 4 is that janky little PoE splitter device that I plugged in. Port 1 is actually the Ubiquiti Instant 802.3 AF adapter going to a nano switch. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so now let's check out the PoE settings. This is a cool part, look. So this actually allows you to set your ports to what they should be. So I know PoE 4 can do BT, so let's save that. There we go. I've got the adapter running on BT now, so it's actually drawing quite a bit of power. It can do 90 watts, but it's not going. So this is kind of cool. Here's all your settings, and I guess it has load primary power. Oh, and you can put in how big the power supply is here.
So the power supply that I'm using is actually capable of 200 watts, so let's just save that there. Oh, I get it. It can load shed. So you can actually set to your priority, and you can actually shut them down if there's too much power being drawn. That's pretty cool. I like that. So yeah, that's the PoE section. So now let's jump cut back to the bench and take a look at the shit that's plugged in and running. So there you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yes, ciao.